Hello students, in this video we are going to see about the model of female pelvis presentation. The pelvis is bony structure. It's a ring-like structure is there which connect the spine to the lower limb. Also, it transmit the weight of trunk to the lower extremities. During the sitting position, it carries the body weight. Also, it protects the pelvic organ which is present or situated inside the pelvic cavity. It allows the movement like running and walking. It also helps in childbirth process. So during the labor, the physiological changes occurs and it will helping in a delivery of the baby through vagina. These are the importance of pelvis. Now we'll see the structure of the pelvis. The pelvis is made up of the two innominate bone, one sacrum and one coccyx. Now the innominate bone, that is made up of ilium, ischium and pubis. Now we will see the ilium. Ilium, the upper border of the ilium is known as iliac crest. Over the iliac crest, anterior side prominent part is there, projection is there. It's known as anterior superior iliac spine. Below that, another projection is present. It's known as anterior inferior iliac spine. Same like posterior side, it's present. That is known as a posterior superior iliac spine and posterior inferior iliac spine. Now, the concave structure of the ilium is known as iliac fossa. Ischium, where the whole body is raised during the sitting position. So this is known as ischial tuberosity. Above the ischial tuberosity, inward projection is present. It's known as ischial spine. The foramen is present. It's known as obturator foramen. There is one cavity is present. It's known as acetabulum cavity, where the head of the femur is joined and forms the ball and socket joint. Now, from the posterior inferior iliac spine to the ischial spine, one notch is present. It's known as greater sciatic notch. From the ischial spine to the ischial tuberosity, one notch is present, that is lesser sciatic notch. Now pubis. This is upper border of the pubis, it's known as a superior ramus. Lower border of the pubis is known as inferior ramus. This is known as body of pubis and this is known as symphysis pubis. Two body of pubis join and forms a symphysis pubis. This is about innominate bone. Now we'll see the sacrum. The upper border of the sacrum is known as sacral promontory. Now the wing-like structure is present in the sacrum. It's known as ala of sacrum. There is a concave structure is present in the sacrum. It's known as hollow of sacrum. And there is a foramen is present here. That is known as the foramen ovale. From that, the nerve is coming from the chorda equina and providing nerve supplies to the pelvic organ. The 5 fused vertebra forms the sacrum. Now, coccyx. Coccyx is a 4 fused vertebra forms a coccyx and it is known as vestigial tail. Now, the joints. There are 4 joints is there. The sacrum and the ilium articulate together and forms a sacroiliac joint. There is a 2 sacroiliac joint, right side sacroiliac joint and left side sacroiliac joint. Sacrum and coccyx articulate together and forms a sacrococcygeal joint, and 2 body of pubis join together and forms a symphysis pubis joint. So this is about the joints: sacroiliac joint 2, 1 sacrococcygeal joint, 1 symphysis pubis joint. There is a 4 joint is present in the pelvis. Now ligaments. All the joints are made up of the ligaments, so that is also considered sacroiliac ligament both the side, sacrococcygeal ligament and the pubic ligaments that is present between 2 pubic bone. Next, there is another 2 ligament is present in the pelvis, that is from the sacrum to the ischial spine. The ligament is present, that is a sacrospinous ligament, and from the sacrum to the ischial tuberosity ligament is present, sacrotuberous ligament. Now, this is about the ligaments. So two sacroiliac ligament, 1 sacrococcygeal ligament, 1 pubic ligament, that is a sacroiliac ligament and sacrotuberous ligaments. Now we will see about the pelvis. There are 2 type of pelvis is there, false pelvis and true pelvis. The false pelvis we will see. This is the structure of brain, and above the brain the pelvis is present is known as false pelvis. False pelvis anteriorly bound by the abdominal wall, laterally is bound by iliac crest and iliac fossa, and posteriorly it's bounded by the last lumbar vertebra. So this is forms the false pelvis. What is the importance of false pelvis and why we are called as a false pelvis? As the false pelvis is not take part actively during the labor process, and that's why it is known as a false pelvis. Generally, the false pelvis during the pregnancy after 3 months, it support the gravid uterus. Non-obstetrically, it's support or protect the abdominal organ. Now we see the true pelvis. True pelvis, which is actively take part during the childbirth process or the labor process. There is a 3 parts is that there is a inlet, cavity and outlet. True pelvis is consisting of inlet, cavity and outlet. Inlet is also known as brim. So now we'll see the boundary of the inlet. Anteriorly there is a superior ramus and symphysis pubis. Laterally there is a iliopectineal line is present, and posteriorly there is a sacral promontory is present. So this is known as inlet. Now the landmark of inlet will start. There is a 9 landmark is there. We'll start from the symphysis pubis. First is symphysis pubis joint. Second is pubic crest. Third is pubic tubercle. Fourth one is pectineal line. Fifth one is iliopectineal eminence. Sixth one is iliopectineal line. 7 is sacroiliac joint. 8 is ala of sacrum, and 9 is sacral promontory. So these are the 9 landmark is there. We'll see you again. Symphysis pubis joint, pubic crest, pubic tubercle, pectineal line, iliopectineal eminence, iliopectineal line, sacroiliac joint, ala of sacrum, and the sacral promontory. These are the landmarks of the brim. Now we'll see the diameter of true pelvis. There are the 3 diameters there: anterior posterior diameter, the oblique diameter and transverse diameter. First of all, we will see the anterior posterior diameter. The 3 anterior posterior diameter is there: true conjugate, obstetric conjugate and diagonal conjugate. True conjugate, the measurement from the sacral promontory to the upper border of the symphysis pubis, it's known as true conjugate diameter, and it is 11 cm. From the upper sacral promontory to the inner border of the symphysis pubis, the diameter that is known as obstetric conjugate diameter, and it is 10 cm. From the sacral promontory to the lower border of the symphysis pubis, it's known as diagonal conjugate diameter, and it's 12 cm. We can not measure the true conjugate diameter, but we can able to measure the diagonal conjugate diameter. How? So during the vaginal examination, we have to insert our index and the middle finger, and we have to insert the middle index and middle fingers, and after that we have to mark over here. Whatever the marking we are making, after that we have to remove our hand, and from the mark to the tip of the middle fingers, the measurement we are taking, that is known, whatever the measurement is coming, that is known as the diagonal conjugate. And if we want true conjugate diameter, so we will subtract 1.5 cm from the diagonal conjugate, so we can get the true conjugate diameter. Now oblique diameter, that is from the sacroiliac joint to the opposite side of iliopectineal eminence. It's right oblique and left oblique, and right and left is denote from which joint we have taken. If we are taking the right sacroiliac joint, so from the right sacroiliac joint to the opposite side of the iliopectineal eminence, it's known as the right oblique diameter, and it is 12 cm. From the left sacroiliac joint to the opposite side of iliopectineal eminence, it's a 12 cm, and it is a left oblique diameter. Now transverse diameter, that is the farthest point of two iliopectineal line. The farthest point of the distance between two farthest point of iliopectineal line is known as the transverse diameter of inlet, and this is 13 cm. So this is the diameter of the inlet. Now we will see about the cavity. The cavity is almost in round in shape, and anteriorly it is very shallow, where posteriorly it is deep. The anteriorly it is bounded by the pubic bone and symphysis pubis. Laterally there is a ligamentous and soft tissue is present, and posteriorly there is a hollow of sacrum is present. So this is forms the pelvic cavity, and pelvic cavity is in round shape. Almost all the diameter is 12 cm. Now we will see about outlet. This is the outlet. the outlet, anteriorly it is bound by the lower border of the symphysis pubis and the inferior ramus, laterally by the ligaments, the sacrospinous and sacrotuberous ligament, and posteriorly by the tip of coccyx. If there is a tip of coccyx is there, it's known as anatomical boundary. Where the tip of sacrum is coming, it's known as obstetrical boundary of outlet. Because during the second stage of labor, there is a coccyx goes behind and it will make a obstetrical outlet. Now we'll see about the diameter of outlet. There is an AP diameter and the transverse diameter of the outlet. AP diameter, there is a two diameters there, anatomical diameter and obstetrical diameter. So from the lower border of the symphysis pubis to the tip of the coccyx, it's known as anatomical diameter of the outlet and it is 13 centimeter. Now obstetrical diameter, in that lower border of the symphysis pubis to the tip of sacrum, it's known as the obstetrical diameter. Now we'll see about the transverse diameter of outlet. There is a bispinous diameter and bituberous diameter. Between two ischial spine, the diameter is known as the bispinous diameter and it is 10.5 centimeter. Bituberous diameter, that is the distance between two ischial tuberosity. The distance is that is known as bituberous diameter and it is 11 centimeter. So this is about the diameter of outlet. One more thing is that in the outlet, there is a subpubic angle is there. What is subpubic angle? That is the angle which is present below the symphysis pubis and made up from the two side of the inferior ramus. Generally in the female pelvis, there is a 85 degree is there. If it is less than 85 degree or 80 degree, the space is narrow into the outlet and the vaginal delivery may be difficult. So if the subpubic angle is more, if it is more than 85 degree, so it is helpful for the vaginal delivery. So this is about the subpubic angle. We can say the female pelvis. Generally the four type of pelvis is present. It's gynecoid pelvis, android pelvis, anthropoid pelvis and platypoid pelvis. In majority of the women, the gynecoid pelvis is there, and the gynecoid pelvis, the vaginal delivery is easy because it is more spacious. More space is available in the gynecoid pelvis with a larger diameter. So this is about female pelvis. Thank you everyone.